Hey everyone, today I want to jump on and kind of explain a little bit of what the Ontario Staycation tax credit is. I've been getting this question many times this year in preparation for, tax season. So the Staycation tax credit is temporary and only for the tax year 2022, and it is aimed to encourage Ontario families to explore the province of Ontario. It is to help boost tourism and hospitality sectors and help them recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. So, in a nutshell, Ontario residents are able to claim up to 20% of eligible accommodations. So, for example, if you stay at a cottage, at a hotel, at a campground, when you file your personal tax return for this year, tax year 2022, you can expense up to 1,000 as an individual or 2,000 if you have a spouse, common law partner, or eligible children. With this 20%, obviously you're able to get, 200 as an individual or 400 back as a family. Now, you're only eligible to claim this if you are a resident of Ontario at the end of 2022, so December 31st. So only one person in each family household can claim the credit. So if you're an individual, obviously you can claim it for yourself. But if you have a common law partner, a spouse, or eligible children, you can claim it, or you can have your spouse or common law partner claim it if it is more tax advantageous for them to. You cannot have an eligible child claim the tax credit. So it has to be, one of the adults. A few questions that I've been getting from people is, what is an eligible expense? Well, really the staycation tax credit only covers accommodations. So your hotel, your motel, your resort, your camping, lodging, bed and breakfast, but only the accommodation section. So if you went to a resort and it was like an all-inclusive, you could only count the portion that's for, the hotel, the room stay. And the same with any campgrounds or rental properties that you might have had. Only the accommodations is eligible. The time frame that you can claim this credit is for January 1 of 2022 to December 31st of 2022. So the year 2022, if you stayed at a place, you can claim those accommodation expenses. Something that's interesting, for example, if you paid for a stay at a resort or something in 2021, you can claim that expense if you stayed at the resort in 2022. Now, you do need to have paid the accommodations yourself or your partner, or, for your child, you have to have paid for it. If somebody paid for it, on your behalf, like for you, and you didn't actually pay for it, then you cannot claim the tax credit. Another thing to note is that, your supplier, meaning, the person that you purchase the accommodations from, the stay from, has to have a GST HST number or has to be registered to collect sales tax. Then you're able to claim the accommodations. Now, with this, the staycation tax credit, you are able to claim either one trip or multiple trips. So if you only did, one camping trip with the family last summer, you can claim, the accommodation fees for that. But if you did multiple, you went out multiple times throughout the year, you stayed at hotels at multiple times throughout the year, you were able to claim all those trips up to the maximum limit. So that being 1,000 for an individual, 2,000 for a family. Now, just like any tax credit, it is very important for you to keep track of receipts. So if you want to claim this credit, you need to have a copy of, what was the location, how much was the stay, how much was the accommodations, what is the GST number of the people you purchased from, and what days did you stay, as well as the name of the person who paid for the stay. So pretty much just a payment receipt that has all of those details on it. Now, many apps, if you used an app such as like Airbnb or I forgot what the other one's called, starts with a V, they usually have, a copy of that information. You can take a screenshot of it and save it somewhere or print it off and have it there in case you are audited for that tax credit. So there is a caveat. If you have a timeshare agreement, or you were staying on a boat, or what is called a self-propelled vehicle, such as, a train or another kind of vehicle, you cannot claim those accommodations. So with that, you can't claim your rental car that you use, or the fuel, or the groceries or parking that you had to pay for to get to those accommodations. You cannot claim any of those. It is strictly where you laid your head to sleep, Like I said previously, you can't claim any tax credit where you were reimbursed. So even if you paid for it, if somebody reimbursed you for that amount, it cannot be claimed, such as if you canceled your stay somewhere. If you incurred these accommodation expenses for school, work, any other educational purposes or employment purposes, you cannot claim those. So if you went off on a business trip somewhere, you had to pay for your hotel, you can't claim that in the staycation tax credit section. You might be eligible to claim it in your business expenses if you are self-employed, something like that, or your childcare expenses if eligible. So still keep a receipt of those, as they might be able to be claimed elsewhere. And now for the best part is that this staycation tax credit is what is called a refundable tax credit, meaning that you will receive the money back in your refund. There are some tax credits that are non-refundable, usually donations, tuition, interest, things like that you can't receive a refund. It only brings your taxes to zero. But the Ontario Staycation tax credit is refundable. So even if your tax amount owing is zero, you will still receive this money. So it's really good. So it's a win. So claim it on your 2022 tax return. If you have any questions, reach out to your tax preparer, or feel free to send me a message. I love answering people's questions and helping them prepare and get the maximum refund possible for them. Hope you all have a great rest of the day. Bye.